Hello everyone, my name is Sandip Gupta. I lead Global Strategic Alliances at NTT DATA. As we see enterprises making tremendous investments in AI, we also see the challenge they have from moving from pilot to production and really driving value for their customers or within the enterprise. And in my view, we see ecosystems playing a tremendous role in how clients derive value. Welcome to the next episode of The Role of Ecosystems in the AI Era. Today with me, I have Simone from Palo Alto as a guest, where we'll be talking about the role of ecosystems in the AI era. Welcome, Simone.
Thank you for having me, Sandip.
Simone, it'd be great if you can introduce yourself and maybe share with us what role Palo Alto is playing in the AI era.
Wonderful. Yes. I'm Simone Gammeri. I'm responsible for partnerships at Palo Alto Networks. I've been with Palo Alto Networks now for about 6 years and actually covered a number of roles as I was there, including leading our AI security team. And so I have witnessed at the very beginning how security for AI started to come about and becoming important, and RSA conference after RSA conference, how the shift in the way CISOs and CIOs were approaching the question of AI. First is like what it is. Second is how do I make sure I isolate it? And then this year it was all about how do I securely scale it, right? And so when I think about the role of ecosystems for AI, I think of it kind of like on two sides of the same coin. On one side, look, there is the role is as critical as ever in ensuring, as you said, customers are getting value out of those deployments. And for me, value is, as I look at it from a security standpoint, is making sure that security is embedded from the start, right? And so that's one part. The second part is, as new AI capabilities are available to the enterprise and they become the norm in any enterprise, I think they're also the norm for adversaries. And so the second part, the second role, very important role ecosystems play, is in making sure each enterprise is ready for the threats that are coming from, for example, the adoption of frontier AI models on the adversary side.
Yeah. I think as you see from your vantage point, the AI stack is horizontal as well as vertical. So there are different layers of the stack. You can think of the edge to the core, or from agentics to all the way to the infrastructure. And when you think about that, what is the operating model? What is the ecosystem operating model? How do you see that evolving or changing across all the way from models to agents to harness, and also looking at the edge to the core?
Yeah, I think there are, historically, as I look at the partners we have had through our history of Palo Alto Networks, we see partners be perhaps a bit specialized. There are those who are focused on the application stack. There are those who focus on the infrastructure stack. There are those who focus on endpoint and workspace.
Yep.
And I think what's happening with AI is the stacks are, or if you wish, the expertise in those different parts of the stack need to come together.
Yes.
And they need to come together in order to deliver value for the customer. And when I look at it from a security standpoint, they also need to come together in making sure each step of the way, each piece of the stack is secured in the right way. And so we look at the portfolio we have. Palo Alto Networks, we can help secure the infrastructure. We can help secure the endpoints if you have agents running on them. We can help secure the application layer, like where you have applications with AI workloads running on them. We can help secure agents communicating with each other or communicating with other applications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like we cover it all. And we think the role that, for example, NTT DATA plays with us is critical, because you guys play across the entire spectrum of this AI stack, this AI deployment stack, and so I think customer will look at you not just as how do I deliver value across any and all the AI use cases, but also how do I make sure I secure them.
That's true. That's true. And as you have different, or the ecosystem landscape is changing, I'm just curious as to how do you measure success for your team or for the ecosystem? And of course, we also have to look at the value we drive for the customers. How do we measure that? Any thoughts on the metrics or KPIs?
Yeah, those are great questions. Look, I took over the ecosystem team about 9 months ago, and one of the first things we did as we were looking at our partner community, we realized that partners were, as I said, very specialized also from a security stack standpoint. There were those that were pushing a lot of our SOC capabilities, or were pushing a lot of our network security capabilities, and so on and so forth. And the reality is customers need an end-to-end approach. I mentioned earlier about the frontier AI threats that are coming their way. Look, we have seen data exfiltration from point of access to point of egress taking less than 40 seconds, right? I mean, there's no way a human in the loop can actually catch it and remediate it in time. So you need to have machine speed, autonomous capabilities to go and detect and remediate those kind of threats. So then if you peel the onion from that, you also need to make sure that each of the tools that you're using and each of the pieces of the data, they're well connected and stitched together. So I think one of the critical aspects of this is driving the right level of consolidation and platformization with customers. And so that's how we changed our program. We made it a lot, while we keep on investing in partners who are working with us on each part of the stack, we are investing more with those like NTT DATA that are playing with us across the entire portfolio, because we think ultimately that's what customers need to future-proof for the future, for what's coming next.
And which kind of relates to also the go-to-market models, right? Because what is happening is a lot of the clients trying to drive value that are use case driven for a particular industry or a function within the company. So we as partners, or you, have to think about how your go-to-market model is going to change to serve this customer who's looking at the AI kind of landscape. So what changes do you see or foresee coming in, change in the go-to-market model?
I think we will see a lot more specialization by vertical. We're already seeing it. If you look at the way cloud service providers operate, for example, and a lot of the AI transformation happens in the cloud. Sure, there is some of it that is on-prem, but a lot of it happens in the cloud or collaborates with the cloud. They are already operating on a verticalized basis. I think the whole idea of being a horizontal solution, it kind of goes away faster in the AI era, because driving specialization can also happen a lot faster, and it's needed to truly derive value.
And we being one of the partners, we worked with Palo Alto for many, many years. What is kind of looking into a little bit in the future, how do you foresee our partnership evolving?
I think it's going to accelerate tremendously. I only been involved, despite NTT DATA and all the various entities that now are joined into NTT DATA, I've been working with Palo Alto Networks since pretty much the very beginning. I only been involved in the last 4 years, and we started from a place where we would barely be able to get together a 100 million run rate, right? I don't know if you remember. And now we are at a place 4 years later that has more than tripled, right? And I think what will happen in the next 3 years is that it will triple again. And this is not, sure, it's ambitious, you bet, right? But it's also very achievable because we have tremendous tailwinds behind us. And what I like about our partnership is that you play with us across the entire stack. And so you are the perfect partners for us to go and work with all of our strategic customers to go and help them consolidate, help them platformize, help them prepare for what's coming next, so that they, all those attacks that are coming at them with the speed, pace, and sophistication that they frankly was never seen before, now they are ready to face them and protect themselves. So.
Great. This has been very, very valuable. Thanks for your insights, and thank you for sharing some of your views on how ecosystems are going to shape in the AI era. Thank you, Simone, very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
For this discussion. Thank you for watching, and we will be back soon with the next episode on how ecosystems are changing in the AI era.